Hey there, Megan here. Welcome back to the podcast. I am coming to you with a solo episode today. And you will hear Dr. Alex and I talk about often the idea of finding a team of practitioners and having these people in advance for when things shift and change, and just knowing that you have all the different components that you need in your health journey. What we think is even more important is that this team or each practitioner believes in you. We've always believed this, but just recently I signed up for an NLP training, neuro-linguistic practitioner training, which I'm very excited about. I've been fascinated by NLP for a long time, and I'm now in the training. So you're going to see a lot more of this in our programs and practices and groups in the future, so be aware. But one thing in the very first audio of the very first part of the program, there was an explanation, and during the training we will also learn hypnosis and some other therapies, and there was an explanation of the idea that if you don't fully believe in a client when they come to you, that you can change their life, that they can change their life, and that they can transform and get the things that they want, then the client will not be able to get those results either. So client will get way better results if you believe. So the belief as a coach or as a practitioner really needs to be unlimited, because people will do incredible things, and they do incredible things, and they completely transform all of the time. Having that belief will allow that to happen. So the belief of the practitioner actually limits the effects that can be produced by the client. So limiting belief by me, it will be passed over. So just to reframe, according to NLP, your client will not actualize what they are wanting to have happen if you do not believe that that can be true. So you could actually stop them. So how often does that happen when we kind of come into a conventional model when we're looking for more functional help, right? And we believe that things beyond just like having the body being broken up into organ systems are at play, and the model we're coming into maybe doesn't believe that. And all of a sudden we're being told like you can't do that, you can't heal from that, you can't change from that, and then you're starting to go, if you buy into that belief, then that will be true for you as well. And this doesn't just apply to practitioners. This would also apply to the beliefs you have about the people in your life, including yourself. So let's say you don't believe you can do something, then you won't be able to. Let's say you believe your partner will always be mean to you, or always leave a mess, or always fill in the blank. They will. What about your kids? What if you believe, my kid's just not good at math, or my kid's just never going to stop being shy, or whatever it is? They will also follow suit. This will limit what they can do, what you can do. So there was a cool study in the school systems. I don't know how many of you remember this, but they told the teacher with a group of kids, they said, we're really sorry. There's just no special ed teachers available. These kids are all struggling. They're all mentally handicapped. And we know you're probably going to struggle to keep up with them, but do your best. We just don't have a special ed teacher for them. So the teacher took the kids. She did the best they could. All the kids got C's and D's. So now they took the same group of kids the next year, new teacher, and said, okay, these kids are so brilliant. They're so brilliant that we actually don't know what to do them. We don't have a special teacher for them. So you're probably going to struggle to keep up with them, but just do the best you can. And all those kids got A's and B's. So the belief of the teacher was projected on the children, and then they performed accordingly. So how powerful is it that your practitioners or the people around you have beliefs that you can go the places you want to go? So I experienced this firsthand with coaching, which I now, looking back, it makes so much sense. So my very first year as a health coach, now, 7 or 8 years ago, I believed I could help everyone. I fully believed I could help everyone, men, women, any age, because I had personally just gone through such a shift with my own health. I had gone from, going to my doctor and them saying, no, I don't see anything wrong. That's, you're fatigued and you have these really intrusive thoughts and you feel miserable, but everything's fine on your test. And feeling super, super depleted, deflated, and like, well, what is wrong with me? To finding Krista at the whole journey, Krista Recchio, and finding a clinical nutritionist and finding that functional medicine exists. And I remember going to coaching sessions with her and being like, this is a job? This is amazing. And just being fascinated by the whole process. And as I quickly saw changes just by, the quality of the foods that I ate, make sure I was getting really good fats in my diet, and making sure that I had lots of good quality salts, just really simple changes that were easy to implement. And I was seeing shifts, and then the functional lab work showed exactly the way I felt, and then there was something to do about it. And this created such positive momentum that at the time, it was kind of the term adrenal fatigue was used. And I was like, oh, I had adrenal fatigue and I did these things and I got better. So I was like, okay, anyone who comes to me, most Americans have what we used to call adrenal fatigue. And so we'll do these things and they'll get better. And I felt so strongly that I could help everyone and anyone that I did. And I was. And for the first year, I had tons of clients. It was actually financially my most successful year was the very first year for the first 5. So then the 4 years after that, I'll share what happened, but did not stay the same since then. So as I'm helping people and I'm like, this is great, I can help everyone, I got the bug of, well, I probably don't know enough, so I'm going to learn more. So then I went to Chris Kresser's ADAPT Practitioner training, and I took a bunch of advanced functional diagnostic nutrition modules, and I started studying more and more and more and getting into more detail. And I'm having Alex is there, and obviously she has her conventional medicine background and knows so much about physiology and disease and genes and blah, 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 right? You're reading, how the genetics can play into this and how the SNPs can play into this, and just became, and as I learned, my beliefs started to dwindle. I started to go, oh, maybe I can't help everybody. Maybe I don't know, like, what if they have this certain gene mutation and I didn't know that? Or what if they have this and that? And the more I learned, the less I knew. Very common. And the less I knew, the more I doubted my belief that I could help everyone. And I started to pull in and I started to question, and I didn't speak with that same belief system when trying to get coaching clients. And I also didn't speak with that same belief system with people I was working with. So how fascinating is that when I believed I could help everyone, I could, and then I started to doubt. And then I started to have less clients, make less income, and then help people less because I was speaking in a way during the sessions that were like, well, it could be this and this and this. And they were picking up on that, even though I, always tried to lead during the calls. But sometimes if I'm questioning it in the back of my head, then they probably were as well. So fast forward, what ended up happening is that these 3 or 4 years of really digging into the details of all the different disease states and all the different organ systems and all the different things that could be at play, and really expanding our functional medicine testing. And well, what if it's mold, and what if it's detox, and what if it's Lyme, and what if it's this co-infection, and going deeper and deeper and deeper. What ended up happening is it all came back around. What were the common factors that each of these people had? And I started to see patterns, right? I started to see that no matter how complex somebody's situation was, the people that weren't getting better had certain mindset situations, certain beliefs, often a victim mentality, often still looking for the root cause, often upset that it wasn't found, and searching for the next supplement, the next thing. And in this search, a lot of our type A women, the people who would come in and say, I will do anything you say, just tell me what to do, but didn't really want to dig into maybe the emotions, the beliefs, the feelings, the thoughts under this. And then the patterns became really clear. And that's when I started to realize and personally believe, oh, I can help everyone and anyone again. We do still just work with women. And at the same time, believe that I can help anyone, because I now believe that underneath every health concern, whether it's your estrogen is high or your estrogen is low, right, is this imbalance that's a much bigger picture of often the story that the person is telling themselves or the belief system is not matching up with the reality, and they're fighting against this daily. They're just unhappy in general, and we will see a lot of times that the bigger picture things are so much harder, not really, but perceived as more difficult to dig into, or more scary, or it's going to be sad, or it's going to be hard, or I don't want to relive a trauma, or right, there's fears around it. And so they push back on that and just say, yeah, but how about right now, like what supplement could I take to have more energy? And this process over time has brought us, Alex and I, back around to a place where we know what things help everyone. And those things apply across the board, no matter what your genes look like, no matter what your current hormone levels are. They're the basic pillars of our health, and it also is our belief system. So now, as soon as that shifted, and as soon as I really started to get more into the mindset area in the last 3 or so years, is when again women started flocking to us. We're filling our programs. We're actually needing to expand our team to have more coaches. We are doing really well as a business, and we are helping women in a way that they are able to receive it, and they know we believe in them. They know that we believe they can change, and they feel that. So I just thought this was such a cool path from kind of having a belief, losing the belief, and then getting the belief back after a while of practicing. And the belief is now I can help everyone again, but in a different way than what I thought originally. Originally it was, you just follow these 5 things that I did for my adrenal fatigue, HPA axis dysfunction, and then you come back to the basics. It almost always comes back to the basics, and that's super powerful. It might not seem as fun at the same time. If you don't have the means to dig into a million functional tests or really understand, like which specific diet works for anything, Alex had a podcast just about that recently. Anyway, that this food and diet is only 15%, and that's because of this. That's because of the belief system. If you believe it is hard to get well, if you believe you do not deserve to be well, if you believe you get more attention, or you are different or unique because of X situation, X disease, X whatever, if you're putting out there that you are the autoimmune warrior, then you will stay in that place. Our beliefs have complete power over what we attract, what shifts and what doesn't. So I'd love to hear from you if this has ever happened to you, where it was really clear that things shifted just because the belief shifted, maybe even without changing the actions yet. And you can send any feedback to support@zestyginger.com. We love to hear from you. We love to hear your stories, and we'll share them as well if you would like us to. And as always, we really appreciate when you leave reviews on the podcast and just tell us what you're enjoying about it, and it helps spread the word to other women, other people who are interested in hearing these topics. And we really appreciate you being here. We hope you have a fabulous day and have something to think about from this episode, and can go back to your practitioner team and say, do these people believe in me the way I believe in me? Do these people believe that I have ultimate unlimited potential just the way you want to believe? Maybe you're not even there yet. Let's hope that they're holding you at an even higher place than you are. Okay, have a fabulous day.